if you want a trophy bass in your lifetime, I can't emphasize Stick Marsh enough. And he goes down there regularly. Like I said, his card is up here.
What's his name?
Dean Herdman, Herdman. Information's up here. All right, now for the boring part of this meeting. I fished Hernando today, my monthly tournament. We only had 16 anglers show up, 49 fish. First place was a whopping 5 fish that weighed 10-1. So there was only 3 limits. Big bass was 5 pounds even, caught by a lady. Matter of fact, she came in second place. I don't know, I think she had like 8.5 pounds, but hats off to her. Also, I've been getting calls around where's a good place to fish in the villages or the area. Randy, stand up. Randy DeSanto. His number is on the Freshwater Fishing Club website.
Program. One other thing, 2 other things. One, if you can get to the hatchery, you should go there. It is a state-of-the-art facility, and one thing that's really cool is they have some brood fish in some of the raceways, and they're 3 to 6, 7 pound fish, and there's probably 100 in a raceway, and they feed them every day. So if you can, when you're there, ask them to feed the bass with some of the feeder fish they got, and it's pretty cool because they'll dump those fish. They have to put the net with the forage fish in the net in the water first, because if you just dump them, we've had fish collide with each other and actually kill each other when they collided trying to eat the bait. So it's pretty neat to see about 100 5-pound bass eat. Most of you are probably exempt to fishing license. And oftentimes I get, and my dad, for instance, he's exempt, and he's very proud of that, and says he's taken him a long time to earn that right. But one thing that people a lot of times they'll ask me, how can they help us with things like the hatchery, and different management things we do around the state. And I always tell people the quickest and easiest way for you to help us is to continue to buy a fishing license.
Trophy catch began several years ago. Our biologists, were sitting around one day and they're like, you know what? We have no idea how many largemouth bass, 8 pounds and greater, are caught throughout the whole entire state. They're like, we have no idea how many that is. So they kind of developed this program, and we are asking anglers to help us with this citizen science project, that when you go out and you go fishing, you catch that 8-pound bass or bigger. 1, catch it and release it is the big thing. That's conservation. We want our females back in the water where they can reproduce. 2, document it for us. Basically, we need 1 photograph, and that's the whole entire bass on a scale where we can read the numbers. And the easiest way that we have found is you hold the scale with the bass on it, take your camera up, focus on the scale with a fish in the background. That's probably the easiest way to do it. So you document it for us, you release the fish, you go to our website, which is brand new, we just launched it in July, and you submit the fish, and our biologists will ultimately use that information to help with their management styles. What lakes are producing the biggest bass? What lakes are producing the most bass? And after 5 years or so, they ought to be able to pull some of that information, and that we haven't even announced yet. And a t-shirt from Bass King as well, thank you. Okay, so you catch one that's 10 to 12.9 pounds, and you get about $150 in gift cards to Bass Pro Shop, Dick's Sporting Goods, or Rapala. And you get a long sleeve shirt. It comes with the sleeves. And you also get a discount on Fitzgerald rods. Plus your name goes in the boat drawing 10 more times. So anybody catch one 13 pounds or greater? Ever?
We have a member did.
Okay.
And he came from Orange Lake 3 years ago,
Nice.
and it was in Bassmaster magazine.
Oh, very nice.
So Wayne Barksdale, 14 pounds and change. So.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
And that's why we call them Hall of Fame fish, because they're not that common.
And that's exactly right. That is why we call them the Hall of Fame fish. And you're looking about $1,000 in prizes, including a free mount of your bass. We give that to you. You'll receive a rod from Fitzgerald Rods, and about $250 in gift cards
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is the actual taxidermist that would
Yes.
do your mount?
New Wave Taxidermy, and they supply us, that was actually our first year winner. His name was Bob Williams, and he caught it from Rodman Reservoir, and he was actually on a guide trip. Sean Rush took him out and
13,
caught that
14?
one. Yep,
13,
13 pounds, 14 ounces. Anyone know what the winner was for last year? We haven't officially announced it yet, but was anybody following the website? Does anybody know where it was caught?
Yeah.
I know you guys know. Okay, it was 14 pounds, 9 ounces, and it was caught on Lake Kingsley. And there were actually 5 Hall of Fame fish. There were 5 13 pounds or greater. And 4 of the 5 were caught on Lake Kingsley.
Where's that?
It's not far from here.
No, it's not. It's in Clay County, which is just
Not here.
southwest of Jacksonville. Clay County, which is just southwest of Jacksonville. It's actually in Camp Blanding. We have a wildlife management area there, and then the military, they have a base there. So I forget the road that you leave out of Middleburg. 16, and then what's
16 from Stark across.
And there's a road. What road is that runs? 100. Is that it?
It's off the 16.
Okay, so it's right there, basically between Stark and Middleburg is just southwest of Orange Park, which is just southwest of Jacksonville. So not real far from here, probably, I'm guessing maybe an hour and a half. If that. So not too far away, and if you're retired military or you're active military, I think you get it. That's how you can get in there with no problems.
And you have to get a federal license.
To my knowledge, no. Yeah, I think the only thing for Kingsley is you have to either know someone that lives on the lake to have access to it, or to be military, and then you can get in there as long as you have a freshwater fishing license, and you should be fine. So 4 out of the 5 this year came out of there, and that's pretty impressive. The other one came out of Lake Kissimmee. So, no, I do not think they do. No.
I was going to mention, when you go fishing and you take a picture of the whole entire bass on the scale, take the bragging photo. Because in our promotional materials, we go on our own website and we pull pictures of our anglers off of the website, and we use them in our promotional material. Everyone who wins, we try to get them posted on our Facebook site and kind of celebrate, because 8-pound bass, man, that's pretty big. So.
Yeah, you want to something? The stick marsh. You had mentioned the stick marsh earlier, and that is certainly on our list for the big bass that are reported. St. John's River is definitely on there. It's pretty high ranking. Istapoga, I think, is second.
Kissimmee 10,000.
The Kissimmee chain, which is close to my heart, is number 1, and that's all that matters. But Kissimmee chain's on there. Then I think Istapoga. Then I believe it's the St. John's River.
I believe it is.
The Harris chain, I think, does make that, and stick marsh is certainly on there. So that's one thing that's kind of neat is the data, all the data that we're collecting from the people who participate in the program. Not only, it's kind of a win-win-win, because you guys get stuff from our sponsors like Bass Pro or Dick's Sporting Goods, Rapala, and then they get to promote and market their stuff to you guys. And then we get the data, the biological data from this. Where are these big bass being caught? I know KP was mentioning that. And over time, there seems to be some really neat trends that we should be able to see and, elicit some information out of where are these big fish coming out of, why are they, and then try to figure out why it is that they're being produced there, and can we, manipulate other lakes to produce these kind of fish that we're seeing in these trophy lakes. Because one thing about bass fishing is no one is disappointed in catching a big bass. I mean, that's all over this country. It's the #1 sport fish, and people like to catch bass, and especially big bass.
Out there that submit the information.
Yes.
Can he submit the information?
Yes.
Yes, I would say when in doubt, submit it. We actually have a team of biologists, or we call them our approval team, and they go in and they evaluate every single photo, every single submission that we get. Sometimes they're uncertain what to do, then they put it up to a vote to the whole entire team. So we process every single one of them, and we do consider them. And our theory is, we want the documentation. We want you guys to get your prizes. So we tried very hard to get as many fish submitted into the program as we would like. Just last July, we hit 1,000 fish that were winners into our program. The first year we had around 1,900 people registered. We had 187 bass submitted the first year. The second year, I don't have exact numbers, but we're really close to 10,000 people registered, and we've already exceeded the 1,000 fish mark in July. So we're getting ready to pull winners on Thursday. That'll complete our year.
Let's
October
say you
1
have a
of this
fish
year's
and
start.
you didn't get the right picture, not a very good picture. If you submit it and doesn't qualify for the trophy catch in the prizes, you can get, you'll automatically qualify for a big catch. I don't know if you ever heard of the Big Catch program, but basically that'll give you a color printed certificate with your name and where the lake, the size of the fish in the lake, and it's free.